so many workers. Like I can outline how many workers I have. I have one for wheelchair repairs.
Yeah.
I have one for income calculation. I
Yeah.
have one overall worker. I have one person for wheelchair repairs, and I think they're in charge of incontinence supplies and stuff. So you have like many different workers. Then they have teams of workers.
Is this
So-
all within ODSP?
Yeah. Yeah,
the
it's their
office
new
there?
kind of running of the office system. And also I had a friend who worked within an ODSP office, so he told me a bit of the bureaucracy and stuff that goes
yes.
on.
Yeah.
So
So do you find that helpful to have so many workers for different things, or would you
well,
change it?
I think it's helpful, but I think in their case they need to be more organized without being rude. I think things get lost, and then you get letters in the mail that say if we don't get this information you're going to get cut off,
Yeah.
or your benefits will be suspended for so long. For example, if they lose your pay stubs.
Yeah. Yeah. You get general letters
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel yourself supported by the welfare workers? Like, how do you feel when you visit your own worker?
It's unfortunate. Sometimes they make you feel like they behave like you have to beg for certain things. You know, I'll give an example. I had to, you know, my line of work is social work. I work with youth, and in order to work with youth, you need police background check. You need to have a first aid, CPR, that kind of certification. And since I'm not working, I need to get this from the social services people. They actually provided it, but the hassle they made me go through, the kind of as if I was, you know, trying to rip the government off or something. They make you feel like you are begging for things. That's how I see them.
I think that when they send you out letters for overpayments or whatever, they should really explain the specifics of the overpayment in the letter. So you're not just getting a form letter and you can actually understand what's going on with your case, and you don't have to follow up with an additional phone call going, what does this mean and how does it all relate to the income figures and everything else.
Yeah.
And I think that would really help, but I also think that, you know, just general, like if they're going to switch your worker, tell you about it.
Just tell you so you know who to contact in case
So they
you
could,
need.
you know, just a 5-minute phone call or even like a letter saying your worker was this, it's now this person.
Yeah.
You know, it takes 2 seconds
Yeah.
to generate a letter and say, like a form letter, these are the people that have been switched over from such and such to so and so,
Yeah.
and we're sending you out a letter to validate that,
Yeah.
and this is their new contact information.
Yeah. It would
You
make
know?
it so much
Yeah.
easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's something really simple that they could do. And explaining, like I said, detailed letters of the overpayment rather than just a form letter
Yeah.
would really help.
Can you tell me, like, how do you feel when you visit your worker?
I honestly feel very anxious, extremely anxious, simply because I know that I'm being judged. I can tell, I can feel it. I mean, sometimes some questions that are asked, I think to myself, you know, what does that have to do with, you know, anything regarding my case?
Like, can you give me an example?
For example, I just feel like if I do not, and if I am not entitled
Yeah.
to receive any assistance for my son,
Yes.
why do we need to probe and ask questions about where he is,
Yeah.
where his father is?
Hmm.
What's I don't really understand why
They
why
ask
try to
you.
yes
Yeah.
I don't understand why try to you know, probe information out of me that I know is going on my file
Yes.
because I see it before my eyes being written down or typed in. So I mean, that's just one of the main things that for me really is intimidating, because I feel like I'm put in a situation where either I have to answer, or if I choose not to answer, then it obviously becomes a situation where the worker and I have a strained relationship, even more than what I feel already exists.
Yeah.
Feel supported by your welfare workers?
No, not at all.
How do you feel when you visit your worker?
That they're interrogating me and that they just that they're just interrogating me. They're not interested if I'm making it by, if I'm getting by, or if my kids are well-being is okay, or if my health is okay. And the answer usually they give, if you want to write a letter of complaint. Which I kind of find amusing because I'm like, okay, so then the letter goes to, and then you can appeal it if it doesn't. I don't feel supported. No, I feel like they're just there to do their job, which is, okay, yeah, you meet the requirements. Here's your check. As for anything else about finding work or helping me get ahead, or here we can try to get you into schooling or anything like that. That's all stuff I have to do on my own, or find people who will help me when it comes to those things. I find they're just, like I said, they're just there to get you your check and make sure you meet the criteria.
So, do you know of any funding that you applied for now? Like, have you applied for a startup fund before? Do you have
I've
medical
applied.
benefits? Or?
I've applied for startup fund. I just applied for funding towards the cost of an air conditioner. I applied for only a couple times for the startup for working, because I figured, well, I didn't really need it a few times because I could dress casually, so I wanted to give it to someone else who needed it more than me, so I didn't bother. I knew that was there, but there was a startup for starting my own business. However, I didn't qualify because I had started another job before that, so I used it within the same year.
Okay.
So if you're working more than one job, you only qualify once a year or once every, I'm not sure. Not sure how
I think
exactly.
once a year or once every 2 years. Something like that.
So, and then I heard that they'll pay something towards your cable if you have, if you have a security camera in your building. But I didn't bother applying for that. But I know a friend who applied and gets partial cable payments. I used to be a career counselor. I still am. I just started my own business doing it. So because of that, I worked with a lot of clients who were on ODSP and welfare and other government assistance programs. So I had the opportunity to learn from their experiences and challenges too. If I wasn't such a good self-advocate, I think I would go without a lot of things. I don't have any family in the city, so I have to be really independent. So I feel sorry for people who don't know what services are out there, because ODSP workers won't come forward and tell you this is available, this is available.
You have to find out for yourself.
You have to find out for yourself and then ask. And then you have to hope that you get the proper information in so that you can qualify.
Does your worker tell you about other benefits from social assistance, like community startup or medical benefits or employment assistance help, things like that?
Well, no. I feel that whatever type of benefits there are, I've kind of had to find out on my own.
From outside?
From outside in.
Okay.
From other, friends who receive those benefits, and that's how I find that type of information. That's even if that, those friends and I even speak about being on assistance. It's something we don't really share or say much about. But if I do find any information, it's usually through other people, through friends.
So they don't, I assume it's a she, your worker, doesn't tell you anything about, if you want to train yourself, we can help you with CPR, things like that. or there's a business startup program that social assistance can help you with things like, you know, I'm just
Right. Well, no.
no.
No. And I really don't want to say that, you know, my social worker at this moment, yes, it is a lady, that it's really her fault, only because I just, you know, got a new worker. And I
Okay.
think that's where the problem is that I've been on assistance since about 6-7 months ago, and I've had already 5 different workers.
Wow.
I was okay. I didn't have any negative behavior, and I think it was because of my behavior that I was aware about my rights, and I don't let people to bother me or insult me or ignore me, because I know who I am and what is the rights. But I was witness for one of my friends who, you know, actually I was interpreter for him. He didn't speak English. And he asked his caseworker to receive tokens, because if they don't receive transportation, every time a caseworker is is allowed to give at least 10 token. And he asked his caseworker that I need some token, and she said, "What do you need for?" And he said, "Because I'm going to somewhere, you know, for job." And something. She said, "No, you know, you came here and you want to go back to home. This is 2 token. Go." And it was so strange for me, but for myself, I didn't have these negative things. But as I said, you know, just one of them, didn't give any information that what is my rights and what should I do right now. And sometimes they had mistake on my applications, and I was told that I had to inform them about these issues, and I said I already give you letter, and they said yes, you know, they wrote that you bring letter, but there is no these documents, and I had to bring the another copies list, you know, too much work, because they lost those papers.
Okay.